So I'm checking out the interview of Sandeep Reddy Vanga with Baradwaj Rangan on Gallata Plus. This is part 2 of the reaction. Part 1 is available. You can check out here. So let's continue this discussion about the film. And if you haven't seen the original interview, I'll put the link section. Definitely check it out. So let's go.
Let's talk about that big action block, right?
Yeah.
In that open, because for me, the film, I don't like to talk about films in acts, in terms of acts, because
Yeah.
it varies.
Even I don't believe that.
Yeah.
I never understood that.
Yeah. But in this film, I deliberately feel there are two acts. The first act, end of first act, he dies. And the beginning of second, and then he's resurrected. And then in a way, he loses everything. So it's like almost like two chapters of his life. Because that's how I saw this. And even the fight sequence is divided into three acts, right? The first time he fights with the
with the Marathi
gun,
song.
with a regular
with
gun,
the guns, yeah.
with a gun. The second act he fights with an axe, and then the third act that big made in India Atmanirbhar. What do you call it?
Atmanirbhar Bharat. Oh, it's his line now.
No. What is that thing called? What do you call it? Like
that machine?
Yeah.
We can call it a war machine. Yeah.
A war machine. So that's the third act, right?
Okay.
What made you say?
War Machine reminds me of Iron Man only.
I just don't want one regular fight sequence. I want the scene divided into three acts with three different weapons.
Yes. That's a deliberate thing. We have divided with the music.
Yeah.
I wanted it to it's not ending. It's actually maybe the inspiration is from Kill Bill. Kill Bill, if you remember one fight sequence, it's never ending.
Yeah.
I found it like I was very hooked to it. I saw it multiple times and it is holding my attention. So like, itna lamba fight.
It's about 20 minutes, right?
I think yeah. I think it's 22 minutes, yeah. So I thought there will be group of people coming. I thought with the music and there's a dialogue in between, there's changing floors and breaking the box. There's so many things happening like a scene. There's a discussion in between where the Freddy guy comes and gives a description.
That's terrific casting, by the way.
Yeah.
Upendra Lamai.
He's a great actor.
I'm like, the casting was so bang on. And that tiger underwear.
Yeah, even that dialogue is his idea. Even that sound, tuk is making that sound, it's his idea. And Atmanirbhar Bharat line is that. He read the line, he said manufactured in Bangalore, made in Maharashtra, made in India. He said Sandeep, let's use this line, Atmanirbhar Bharat. I said super, abuse it then. It was, there's a full, whistling and cheering in the theater for that line.
Right. So you divided it as one.
Yeah.
And of course the song happened then. And Arjun Valley, and it just became viral because of this.
Every bit of the film is viral. Even you see so many people are partying, putting the glass. It's madness. I mean, we never thought at that level.
So this kind of said, you saw Kill Bill and said, let's also make a.
I thought I was surprised. Usually in our films, especially in our South films, few action episodes will be bored. Kitna karega tu karke.
Yep.
So that maybe happens because it's happening only in one.
It did happen for me in this film also. I felt that 3 parts, it just went too long. Because and nothing changed. Just more people are just coming, more people. It's not, the stakes are not changing. That okay, first they attacked me, now they are doing something else. So now I have to save someone. It's just the stakes are constant, and that's why it doesn't feel that effective.
Particular area, there's no dialogue or there's no break in between. So when I first time saw Kill Bill that fight, I thought very smartly done. It's like a scene. It's not action episode. So that I don't know, that remained in me. I don't know because when in the few review writers said the Kill Bill action he must have inspired, then I felt I saw it because when the first time I saw, I thought what a scene it was.
Yeah.
So and being a Punjabi guy, I thought with lots of money and attitude, I thought he'll make a machine for himself,
Yeah.
So in the starting also we established that Freddy kab aane wala hai.
Yeah.
Kal parso aana chahiye and all that. They were leaning to that box they were eating. So we established properly from the first scene, even the underwear irritation and all that, so that they were going to exchange away. So that planting was done properly, so that you will not feel suddenly kuch bhi ho raha hai because we are reaching to the interval.
Right.
So few films we see that reaching the climax, reaching the interval, they rush. So
what is that underwear irritation scene?
My brother, who's a producer on this film, He lives in US. For this film, he came back and he's doing to and fro. He's shuttling between US and Bombay.
He
So
produced Arjun Reddy as well, right?
yeah, yes. So he always used to say, "What is the problem in India? The detergents, the texture is going wrong." I used to think what he's saying is true because
Like most of the things, people are making, like criticizing and how you can show this and that. Like actually have come from his life, these things have happened and he used those very cleverly in the narrative itself without making it, out of nowhere.
because the detergent and the water, they use softeners also for the water. That all there, but we don't have it in India. So मुझे लगता था कि yes, this is something wrong with the detergents of water. So that remained in me when he complained, when he was saying this like long back, 15 years back. So I thought like let's put this idea and वो होता है ना, like you pull up your socks, tighten your balls when you're going for a fight. So I thought like this guy taking that guy's underwear, putting it, a camera going like that, the drum sound with the Marathi song. I thought like it would be fully entertaining, moment. So,
And Tiger.
And Tiger, Triple X Tiger. So we only designed that brand, and we used the Tiger sound also on it.
Right.
So yeah, so it is purely for fun and yeah.
Yeah, it is mad.
Yeah, it is,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
like, why are all those people dressed in wearing animal masks? Because I understand Ranveer is an animal.
Yeah. I wanted to get a little different, flashy, different effect on it.
Okay.
And one more thing, what I majorly thought was, whoever the fighters are, whichever film you see, the fighters are same.
Yeah.
Have you noticed?
Yeah.
I can't.
That's true because they are the same stunt people they keep using, and I think a lot of films, Hollywood also, they try to put something on the face so you don't recognize them. So the same people are only coming later and using the same, because if you show the face, then you have beaten them and then they're again coming. Then it makes no sense. So that's one way to hide. Mostly in superhero films, that's what happens.
Past fighters. See, in the film, in the 60th birthday party, in the classroom scene when Ranbir picked the rifle, I chose every junior artist by photographs. I've casted literally one by one. Like, I want the junior artists also to look in a specific pattern and look. So, I can't cast fighters. Fighters are fighters.
You see the same action guys. Actually,
see-
I've seen that even the dancers. You see the
Bachpan,
same.
yeah.
you see
When I was a kid, I used to notice, especially in Venkatesh songs, there used to be one guy who is there for 7-8 years.
Yeah,
For almost
they're
35,
all
40 songs.
The frontline dancers,
Yeah.
all the faces. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Even the fighters, we know a lot of them. They'll be in Dabang, they'll be in Chandi's film, they'll be in Rajni's film, and suddenly they'll be in a small set of film also, like a 4 crore film also. They'll be there. So I thought like how to hide them, and this is a film which is happening in Delhi. So, and that too, that somebody is attacking from a different country. He's hiring people no matter in India, but he'll not hire the same faces,
I
right?
wonder if he answered the question of where were the police in the film, or the law authorities, like anyone, like, because like how too detailed he is that, oh, it's happening in Delhi, I have to check the menu and the people and everything. I wonder what if that question will be asked.
The moment you see the fighter's face, I felt like you lose the realness of it,
Right.
the authenticity of it. So I thought like how to do that. I thought like, well, let's cover, let's put monkey caps. The idea was a monkey cap first. I thought monkey cap is regular. Let's make animal mask. Title is animal. So I told to Suresh, and Suresh got it designed, and it took a while. We actually थोड़ा time दिया इसके लिए, that we have pushed the this interval for another 20-25 days because the masks were getting ready. Because I was thinking like I definitely feel it wouldn't have worked the way it is working now if I show the faces.
Yeah. The fact that they are anonymous makes it a little more
Easy to digest the violence.
scary in a way. It's like a little
Scary, and you
robotic.
don't know, because face the expression.
Yeah.
With the acts and all, you see the expression. But
This
when
is like some almost
everybody
like
has the same
robots are-
expression.
Yeah.
When they're turning and when it's doing this calling, it looked very scary because you don't see them.
Yeah.
Like a Joker mask. So I thought it's best for the film.
Yeah.
Or else you'll see,
That
if you
also.
have faces also now, you'll feel like kitne logon ko marega.
Right.
There's no expression, the people are dying, no? So you didn't really feel bus karo bhai fight. Actually, it helped the length of the fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know if this is intentional or you're going to say I didn't think of it, but all your bad boy heroes, they're high achievers. One is a super surgeon. One
Yeah.
is a spacecraft engineer in Animal. What is that?
I don't know.
It's just a
Yeah.
profession that you think
Yeah,
of.
I think maybe I want my heroes to do best everything they're doing. I don't want. I don't know. I never thought also actually.
Okay.
The topper of the college, topper of the university. I never thought.
Yeah.
It just came while I was typing the dialogue. I don't know.
So that's what it's like. It's a
Yeah,
flow.
yeah,
Yeah. It comes from the unconscious.
yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Basically, maybe I love to deal with smart guys. Maybe
Right.
you know.
Like messed up smart guys. There are some lines in your films like here there's a line that happiness is a choice.
Happiness is a decision.
A decision, yes.
Yeah.
In Arjun Reddy, there's this lovely line that
Suffering
says
is personal.
it's not the suffering is personal. That's all. That's one thing. But it's also there's this lovely line that Arjun's dad says,
Now the
which he
flashback
says,
that hurts.
yeah, it's not the goodbyes that hurt,
the
it's the
flashback that
flashbacks that follow.
Yeah.
These are your lines. Or
Yeah.
are they like things you've read long back?
I heard somewhere, must have heard. I didn't. But suffering is personal. Happiness is a decision. I felt it.
Right.
I felt and I wrote. But that line I read somewhere.
Basically, I'm asking, are these your philosophies?
I believe in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely believe happiness is a decision.
Yeah.
It comes within us only. And if you really want the environment should not affect you, you can be happy always.
Right. Tell me about the timing decision for two things. One is where the title animal appears. And two is
I wonder if that is inspiration from RRR because they did it.
when the
I would
hero
wonder that.
reveals his name.
Oh
These are
yeah.
two very specific decisions.
That I didn't even like watching the film. I didn't even realize. And when he says my name, he takes a pause. I'm like, oh shit, I don't even know his name. We never were told in the film. And then he says it. I'm like, oh, what a reveal.
You've taken.
Yes.
Why did you say I want this at this point and I want that at that point?
So actually, when I was thinking how the film is going to begin, I didn't find a point where I have to put title.
Right.
Or else it will feel like, okay, now everybody know that you're coming and watching Animal. Why I should push saying that, okay, now see the title. I didn't find a space, first thing. Another thing, I felt it will be so cool playing that orchestra kind of a music after killing and the eating. And quietly it will settle with like a stencil. And with a gunshot, the gold is filled. I thought like that's a very powerful image.
Okay.
Because people clapped at that point.
Yeah.
felt
I thought I was like dreaming because suddenly some special effect kind of thing started coming.
That all
it started
slowly
circling
it
and-
fades in the circle, outer circle, and the inner circle.
Yeah.
So I thought that will be a nice way of presenting the title. And name.
I think this also it's like this wait, what? Like RR, right? Like that I think was the first time I realized, when suddenly the title appears, I'm like, oh my god. I didn't even think the title is not shown, and this is the moment, they're showing the title. It's so iconic moment. And this is the same movie in the movie, right? You do forget that, you have been watching the movie for so long now. Not so long, but first I think 30 minutes. And it's going and you didn't even think about it. And suddenly the title becomes like, oh shit, title has not appeared. Now they are doing it because it makes sense.
Because every time because he loves his father so much, I always wanted him to say, "मैं बलबीर सिंह का बेटा हूँ." And even in the press, they say that the first time we are hearing a third generation entrepreneur not willing to take his name calls himself Balbir Singh ka beta. I don't know how much it is heard while he was going to pin. So when it comes, and even when he says to his Rashmika's brother, जब सब होते हैं भैया बोलते, जब कोई नहीं होता नाम से पुकारते. All the time when you're saying naam, name and all that, audience will feel, इसका नाम क्या है? I think that's a way of holding attention on a different aspect.
Right.
With the story, drama, music, everything, there's another line I thought which will be nice for the audience to hold it and give it at a point where, you feel with that BGM when he holds down and saying like, "Mera naam ye hai," the echo. I thought like, that's where I thought it's a very cinematic high. As per the character also, I feel like it's a nice reveal.
Yeah.
Because we given like 3-4 situations where you feel even the cousins saying Veere kab aaya, like bhai, where you. So naam, even the father also never calls him Vijay in the climax. Only Rashmika says, "Vijay, I'm leaving you."
Yeah.
Vijay, when he stops him, "Mera galti ho gaya beta."
He
Only
remembers.
twice we hear his name, that too in the climax.
Yeah.
And throughout, I maintained in the dialogue that nobody calls him with the name.
Right.
So I
Hmm.
thought that's a nice
Wow.
way
Detailed.
of people they're thinking while you're watching the film. That's a nice way to make the audience think.
Right. Okay. Now comes one of my favorite things in the movie, the doubling. When Anil does not come home on his birthday, Anil Kapoor does not come home on his birthday, the child,
Yeah.
Ranveer, goes to his mother and asks, she says, your dad is so busy, we'll have to clone him.
Yeah.
But he says, not clone, make a body double. Later,
I didn't.
he
Oh, no,
actually
no, no. I didn't even. I wonder if he has seen the movie more than once to, get all these details. Wow. I never thought of that.
makes a body double of his father.
Yeah.
And much later, somebody makes a body double of him, of Ranveer,
yeah,
at the end,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
There's this other thing where Abrar's wife gives birth to identical twins.
Yeah.
Like that's what they say, right,
Yeah,
at the middle
yeah,
of the fight.
Yeah.
What is this constant doubling going on?
No, because that's this. See, this is deliberate. Like as you asked, you
Wow,
wanted
that's
to do
something,
it
yeah.
or it's unknowingly. It's very deliberate because one thing I felt like fourth standard लड़की को cloning or body double समझ में आता है. That's always a thing to ask. But I thought like it's okay. Maybe he understood that.
Probably he's a super smart guy or something like that. Yeah.
So maybe he understood cloning at that point in 90s. So I thought we'll give the idea of body double, and he did, which is a nice planting and payoff.
Yeah.
And in the climax, because see, he's abused. See, Bobby Deol's marriage and everything is actually domestic abuse.
Yeah.
Marital rape, call it anything, but when you see, they are not willing to reveal the details about where he has gone. I found very fascinating when I was thinking about the scene that he's ill-treating is a small word to say, but they are giving him that respect and all that. Even she's having the labor pains, she's not willing to take, where he has gone.
Interesting.
So I thought when the cousins come, because they are loaded guns in the flight and they're going to kill. And why this fist fight is happening? Why don't you shoot? You have 12 people and there are 4 people. That's what the royal comes and says, क्या चल रहा है? And he says like 2 घंटे से एक दूसरे को तोड़ रहे. And then he'll say like उस औरत को 2 बच्चे. I said when he says that, for the effect of it, I did. It's like that woman has delivered a baby boy instead of saying twin, twins, identical twins. There's an emotion to it when you say it.
Yeah.
And Bobby doesn't know about that. So while I was making it, editing it, for me, emotionally, there's a shift towards Bobby. I actually shifted while I was editing. It's like, why you're killing him? I got that feeling. And most of the audience also felt.
Yeah.
I've spoken to a lot of people, they felt that for a moment we are on the Bobby side.
Yeah.
Because of this aspect. Because if you see, revenge is revenge, end of the day. He also wants to, emotion is same. You're doing for your father, he's doing for his grandfather. So, yeah. So I thought like, when you say identical twins, I felt like it is doubled.
Why do I feel like there's some mistake here for editing, because we always see the person talking on screen, right? Right now, I think in the editor they forgot this line there. Oh, Bia is not talking, but they put Bia's thing and not Sandeep's visual.
Emotion is double.
Yeah.
2 kids are going to be orphan now.
Right.
There's another 8 kids. So it will be like, you are worried about your father, one son. Imagine there are 8 kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you don't know what's going to happen. That's what Suresh ji will tell grandfather. ये महाभारत कभी खत्म नहीं होने वाला. You just forget about this right away here.
Now it's back.
Then he says like, मैं मारता हूँ आप माफिया आप देना, something like that.
Actually, that's when I got the idea that there's probably going to be a sequel, because when he said "Kabhi khatam nahi hoga," I was like, okay, this looks like something that's going to continue.
Yeah.
But that's amazing, because you set up when Ranbir is a kid, the point of the body.
All these things are like, now you're listening from his POV, right? How he made the film. Like, they are details, and he has put in so much work and made the film. And then when you hear the criticism, oh, what nonsense and anything is happening in the film, what kind of scene you're showing here, there, and it feels like, because you don't really have a lot of things to pull the film down, you're purposefully trying to attack it. And I think then you can, from the criticism, some of the criticism out there, like, as in a video also I said everyone has the right to criticize. If you didn't like the film, say why you didn't like. There's no problem. But some of it feels like you're creating it just to make pull down the film. That the film makes no sense. And I think the reason for that is that you don't have enough things to pull the film down, because you don't agree with the film anything, but the film making is good and it's working for people, and you're more trying to just pull it down because you don't have much, and you'll do anything to scratch that. So that's what I feel happening against the film.
double, the payoff comes at a very unexpected point.
Yeah.
When the dad is shot,
Yeah.
and he creates this
Yeah.
this body double.
Yeah.
And that's like seriously.
Yeah.
Now again, you could have, without the setup itself, you could have still had, say, I'm creating a body double, because everything is extreme, anything is possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he could have still done that.
Yeah.
What made you say, I want to set it up then,
Set it
as a
up.
child? Set up this body double concept as when the child is still there.
Yeah, I thought I just wanted to, show that he's a smart kid. He's able to gauge that, that okay, father's a busy man. I'm okay with it.
Right.
Because the way he's emoting also, no matter what, Papa just a koi nahi. His mother is shocked. The way he's saying cloning to nahi hoga, birdable kar sakte. Cloning karne mein time lagega. She's like,
It's also like a massy movement, right, for the child to say. Like it's also that I think that's what I thought of when that dialogue happened. That he's like, how much he understands his father. That like boy double chahiye hoga because you cannot clone him, kind of thing, whatever.
what detail he's getting. मैं तो ऐसे ही cheer up करने के लिए बताई थी, but he's going to deep detail.
Yeah.
And Kattu is going to the factory.
Right.
So I thought that just to give that, strong intention and give that smartness thing. And it's nice to know that it's unfolding and it's planting and paying off.
Yeah, the
happening.
planting
Yeah.
payoff is
Yeah.
really like at the most unexpected moment.
Yeah.
So that's what really works.
Yeah.
Like the other doubling is there's this twice it comes, like is janam mein aap papa main beta, and then agle janam mein we'll reverse it,
Yeah.
and then the next janam finally you will learn from this janam and you will become the ideal papa and I will become the ideal beta. Tell me that janam ka, you're saying that this will always happen, like never end.
See, this way of explaining, Papa, अगले जन्म होता ना, तब ऐसा होगा ना. When you say it, when you talk in a way, if at all you're a little mad on that topic, you say hoga, hota. You say it in such a way when it happens.
If
If is always there,
Yeah.
but there is no if in this. If you notice in the line, Papa,
Okay.
अगले जन्म में आप मेरा बेटा बनना. Papa, अगले जन्म में ना, Papa, आप मेरा बेटा. वैसा नहीं है dialogue. So I felt while I was removing the ifs in the dialogue, I felt like it's very new. He's so sure. The surety of having a Janam is showing that the vast love, how much he loves his father, to what extent.
right.
Shows that it's a little, like very stupid to say like Agle Janam, what nonsense you're saying. Nobody knows what happens Agle Janam. But in a very, very poetic way, you're so sure of 3-4 lives. So that shows that depth of a relationship. That's why I used as a first publicity thing to say like what this story is going to be.
Right.
Like 2 years back, we left an audio teaser saying these lines are the audio teaser. So just give a idea to the audience that it's a story about father and son.
Yeah. For me, the most interesting visual in the film is you go to an extreme close-up of Ranbir with a beard and like there. Then it's almost like a screen lifts and like if you
Bobby
stop
there.
halfway, you see a beard. You still see Ranbir here, and then when the screen fully lifts, you see it's actually Bobby.
Yeah.
One, did you cast Bobby because he kind of looked like Ranbir? I don't know. I'm just like asking. It's
No.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
It is just an inspired bit of casting. That's it. It's just you
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
why not Bobby Deol?
Yeah. I saw one of the picture, the CCL ka,
Okay.
Celebrity Cricket League. He was holding a water bottle and looking into the ground. I really loved the expression. I showed it to
Okay.
Bobby sir also.
Right.
So this is the reason I've come here, like, showing the picture.
Right.
So yeah, that's I always wanted, like, I want the audience to wait, sees, how the health is going down, and wait to a point where maybe he's imagining things. There's nobody. Actually, I didn't want to open in the casting that there's Bobby Deol in the film. This thing for me, I felt I'll not let the world know that there's Bobby Deol in the film. But
That would have been
today's
so
thing,
interesting.
it's very hard to hide.
Yeah.
When you're not hiding, then let's put a poster also, because I want my villain to be revealed. Oh fuck, this is what it is.
Yeah.
I couldn't give that because आज इतना digital information है, we can't hide things only unless you do it in a studio completely.
But the beautiful thing about that is it positions them.
That's very interesting. I also wonder, man, in today's age, like there's so many twists and turns. We already know casting everyone, everything, to the point. Like, I wonder if, none of this we know and we just go without, like the olden days, without knowing anything, you're just going inside and you're just, like, as I said, about the cousins thing, because I knew from the trailer it's gonna happen. You know, that just nothing is there. You have no idea what's coming ahead, what are the visuals, you have no reference. How that experience would be, right? But sadly, it's not possible.
As like almost like twins, like two sides of the same coin.
And when you're saying brothers, so all this was in mind, but still it worked. Knowing, because when I was writing, I thought nobody knows this is Bobby Deol in the film.
Yeah.
And I'll open like that. And the high is will be 4-5 times than what is it now in the theater. But still it worked.
Yeah.
Because my fear was that only.
Yeah.
Because whenever
I think it worked still because like people don't. Where is Bobby? They like you even maybe forget that Bobby's also in the film because everyone is talking about Bobby there from the trailer. Of course Ranbir, but Bobby there is like standing out for everyone, and he doesn't show up. He doesn't show up, and what's happening? And then he finally shows up, and then what happens?
shooting, the idea was that, but by the time I reached to the location, then it's out. Even in the audio teaser also, I was thinking whether to put Bobby Deol's name or not. But I thought, like, if you hide today, anyways, it's going to, people will know that he's there. So let's use his name.
Right. And another thing is, this guy cannot hear.
Yeah.
That guy
Yeah.
cannot speak.
Yeah.
That
I until that the people shouted, "Hey, he cannot hear. Hey, he cannot listen. Whatever. He cannot say anything." Until that happens, even I didn't think about that.
again was
Yeah. Because there's one line actually when Tripti confuses to him.
It's tiring, man. Watching a 2 hour long. You'll be watching two halves of it, part one, part two, but sitting for 2 hours constantly, just my eyes are hurting now.
And when he says, like, I knew the day one you are, though she actually, she'll curse him. It's a lengthy dialogue. I removed it. Although I didn't shoot only. She'll say, like, what's the there's no much difference between you and your brother. The difference is, like, he's mute and you're deaf. It will come in a very powerful way when she's saying, I thought, like, let's not use this. We'll use in the climax because so much of punching is happening, so obviously it goes away.
Yeah.
So he's trying to talk, and his brother will say, and his brother will say. I knew that people will laugh. I felt for a while that जब हंसेंगे, the emotion might come down. But the music is so high, so nice. Those lyrics are.
Yeah.
So it was holding.
Yeah.
They are laughing at the same time. They are like into the emotion of the,
Actually, I wasn't laughing. I was actually very moved because that's one of the rare times. I don't know if I've ever seen a
Like what has gone through them is because of the revenge. Like one has become mute and one has become deaf. It's like the part of the violence they have been in.
fight scene where you have such an emotional song happening.
yeah.
Usually you have, again, that's the music cues that you give, right? They're very off, very off the beaten track.
Yeah.
So sometimes it takes us a while to process because we're used to, like I said, sad scene means violin, happy scene means this. But here it's a fight. You're not going like full on, electric guitar or whatever it is to rouse the emotion. You're making it sound like a very emotional event that's happening.
Yeah, even
like,
there's a chorus.
there's a chorus.
Yeah.
How did you decide that was going to be a very emotional moment?
So day one, I was having this idea that when the hero and the villain comes into the picture, the first time looking at each other, and if you see Ranbir will be seeing like, oh, this guy. This is what I was waiting for. He gives that. So I wanted, like, in the climax when the lovers meet, there's always, like a symphony kind of a music is playing. I thought, why don't we use it for the hero and villain?
Yeah.
And it's a Punjabi song, and it's saying about relationships, about father predominantly. So I thought, sorry, that will work. Even that's why because I was playing In my phone, it's playing like that, and I was watching in the monitor. And there's another
Okay.
speaker also which is playing for the actors. So I was very keen. We were very close tights when Bobby Sir is coming on and Ranveer is coming on, and they're looking at each other and walking towards like that. It's an old scene. We've seen in hundreds of films. Shirt utar ke
Yes.
marna. But I thought that song and that placement, and in between they're talking, he's stopping the cousins and he's stopping his brothers.
Yeah.
That equally we want to fight, and the ethics was same from both the sides.
Yeah.
So, and villain is not playing dirty.
Yeah.
He also have that equally thing like I'm going to take him down.
Yeah.
So all that worked.
Yeah. And in the middle, you're getting that information about identical twins.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
There's
and with the
another-
exhausted and smoking also.
Yeah, yeah.
All
yeah.
that really worked. It was very.
Is it true that you wanted a kiss to happen between Ranbir and Bobby?
Actually, there's a kiss.
I actually wanted to know. I wanted him to answer this because Bobby Deol, I think, has said it. So let's see what he has to say about this.
kiss.
Who'll kiss?
Bobby will kiss Ranbir,
Okay.
but it was superb on the while he's shooting.
What kind of kiss is it?
He'll kiss on the cheek when he says like, "Bhai, you'll. I didn't even spend one day with my father. You say you're leaving it, and I'm going to leave you." And he's convincing him, and he'll come and kiss on the cheek, and he'll go back and he'll open the zip. So that it was nice, but with the music and
Oh,
with
it
the
is before he
intercut,
lowers his zip.
yeah,
Okay.
I felt like Kiss is diluting the zip. So I thought, why I removed it, because Bobby sir ek expression diya, he just gives a smirk like that, and you see a tears going. I felt that is more bigger cinematic high than coming and kissing. So I thought like I got through that tears rolling and that smirk he gives. Matlab, what you're saying, fucker? You did so much to my brothers, and now you're saying forgive me. I'll go away. It's not going to happen. So when he's still talking, he'll take 2 steps back and he'll open the zip. And then Ranvijay figures out that he's not going to keep quiet now.
Yeah. And I like that zip moment because it again goes back to the monkey story.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So that's like everyone's this equal animal out there.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like like they're all behaving the same way.
There is a clear indication that villain is putting the zip, is saying like that. So sometimes the entire heroism might die in the climax.
Yeah.
Like, what happened? But the way Ranbir looks at it like that, and even he's having tears and he removes the cap of the knife. It really went. The way he's taking the turn, the nice sunset is happening.
Yeah.
All that really helped the scene. Like
Right.
superb.
There is one thing I'm very curious about. Again, between Arjun Reddy and here, in Arjun Reddy, you opening scene is that two people by the sea, but when the grandmother starts talking, you have a Bhagavad Gita Sanskrit shloka
Yeah.
that talks about time.
Yeah,
right? In Kabir Singh, it's a Kabir Doha,
Yeah.
which talks about time. Here again, there's in
Time will
Animal,
tell.
there's Bura Jo Dekhan Main Chala.
Yeah.
There is again that Kabir Doha at that point where the fight is happening.
Yeah.
Tell me about these bits of ancient philosophy that you put into your movies.
This because Siddharth Garima wrote dialogues for
Right.
Kabir Singh. So Siddharth understands Telugu. So the kind of Bhagavad Gita thing I used, and now it's titled Kabir Singh. So it's their idea that we'll use Kabir ke dohe and the beginning and the end. It will go with the title also.
Okay.
But in Animal, it's not deliberate. I don't know how, because I always wanted to. Me and Saurabh thought like, he's the bigger bad guy than everybody.
Yeah, he's saying basically, I looked inside myself and there was no one worse than me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So why is he telling it that at that point?
Because you bought the machine out and you are like, how they're flying like ants,
Right.
So I thought before getting there, I think this line will work with that smoky effect, that yellow light.
Right.
So yeah, initially we thought we'll use it in the corridor before firing. Then after that, we used it there.
So another, not lines, but bit of music that you use is like when Arjun Reddy sees Preeti for the first time, you use a song that's a goddess song.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
In
Sumana Savandita.
Sumana Savandita.
Yeah.
So when Ranbir sees Gitanjali, you use Roja Janeman. That's Kadal Roja Ve, whichever that thing is. It's like a love song to a like a
Yeah.
woman, placing her on a pedestal, right?
Yeah.
What is that introducing the girl with that song?
Yeah, it is. It is not a deliberate thing, but thing is, big fan of Rahman sir work.
Yeah.
Especially Roja, Bombay, and all that. And I want it to sound very real because
I'm not very music savvy, so I don't relate to this question very much.
partying in the ground floor, and on the top of the roof there's a engagement happening. So more than the background score, I wanted to use on the atmospheric sounds, Foley background sounds,
Right.
sounded very real. Then I thought like let's use this Rahman sir song because the Triori band who created this song, they were in Arjun Reddy audio function.
Okay.
Who came and they're playing the band.
Okay.
Before the crowd, started walking and sitting. So they were playing few tracks. I was like, who are these guys? Since then, I was in touch with them. I was watching their videos. So then I found this Zahra Rahman song, and then I contacted them. I said, like, I want to use this as an introduction from the bike. I started in the classroom itself.
Yeah, yeah.
Time batayega.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of using a sound in a particular place, and you come to the nucleus where it actually started. I like that idea. I don't know why, but it's not deliberate that I want to use music when I'm introducing the heroine.
Right.
The idea was to be like very
real. It's an
real.
unfair question because you made only 2 films, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like, but because it's happening, I'm asking. So,
Yeah, no, it's okay because I wanted it to be more real, more
Right.
realistic.
Right.
Yeah, that's the only idea.
Right, right.
And it's such a famous track. I thought immediately you are into the story.
Yeah.
That music will help 4 or 5 times more than a regular. If I would have asked Rameshwar to give a background score, it wouldn't have worked the way it is working with Roja song because the nostalgia always helps.
Helps, yeah.
Yeah.
And it's plus set in that time and
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna kill me for this, but again, in both your films, there's an
Okay.
intercaste marriage.
Yeah. Okay.
You didn't notice this either.
Yeah. Intercaste, the interstate intercaste. Yeah. Okay.
It's not a signature.
I mean,
It just happened.
yeah, because I see a lot of Telugu and Tamil families settled in Delhi.
Right.
So
It just
yeah, maybe I like seeing region marriage in
Fulfilling his own fantasy that couldn't be completed, so he's fulfilling them in the films.
the caste marriage.
I mean, one of the biggest highs in the movie is when they're sitting in front of her family and they don't say anything, but they kiss.
Yeah.
And the music of Hua Main starts, right?
Yeah,
It's like the prelude of Hua Main starts.
yeah.
And then that wonderful electric guitar, that sound goes. It's such a wonderful rock song.
Yeah.
And then you kind of take off into that zone. I want to know, why did you and your composer choose that to be a rock kind of
Because there's a recklessness in it.
Because?
There is a recklessness in the rock.
Because it could have been a melody song also, right?
Yeah.
It's like yeah.
You feel it's you voicing out your rage, and it's
They're
very
being rebels.
Yeah, it gives a very
Okay.
young feeling. They're very there is a bit of negligence also in that. This is what we are. So I thought, like, after coming from such a big drama of what's happened between him and his father, 60th birthday, Jija, sister, everything. After we see what he has done in the school, I felt like he should not explain himself. I wantedly made him sit in such a way that he heard a lot from them. But we as audience, we are only listening a little end part of it.
Yeah.
Sharam karo, kal tak bhaiya bhaiya bolti thi. I just wanted that to happen. The brief was like, you're hearing this from 10 minutes. You understood that they are not going to understand whatever we try to explain them. So let's give them, that most unexpected thing to see. After that, there's no talk.
Yeah.
How to shed them.
Yeah.
Please don't talk like that. We are really in love from the childhood. He'll never say that. Even the girl also will never, maybe, because he's stern on it. So I thought this is a nice, it's a nice takeoff point from there.
So when you guys sat down to compose, you knew it was going to be a rock song.
Yes. When because Preetham sir composed it, when I briefed him also, I said, like, I want it to be like that. I wanted to have those, that passionate voices in between when this guitar and this is happening. because I told him the scene. This is what it will be in the flight and all that.
Right.
It will be reveling in front of the parents and going away. In a way, it's not running away, but very elegantly getting up and walking out. So I explained him, and this happened in the pandemic actually.
Yeah.
This brief happened in the Zoom call, and yeah.
Right. And then
Okay.
it's like they're on the ground, next minute in the sky.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like one straight,
Yeah. So you say soulmates, and when you're in the flight, you always say that so many souls on the board. There's a little symbolism in that. I don't know how many people understood it.
Right.
I thought this was a brief for Preetham sir, when I narrated him.
You have a very good sense of music yourself, or do you explain very well what you want? Are you so specific? Because every single song that you had has really worked. In this, nobody knew what Jamal Kudu was, and it's like
Yes,
it's now viral.
Yeah.
Arjun Meli, nobody like that's become a thing. Like, is this all
No, because I listen to a lot of music.
Right.
I can't imagine
That's good.
myself without music. Even I can't write a scene without music and sound at least. At least I have to know.
when you're writing, you play something all the time?
No, I have to know like what kind of a music in the background, or if not music, what is the atmospheric sound.
Okay.
Whether it is set in a low roof house or the high roof. I don't know why. It's a pain actually because it will stop your writing if you don't get that clarity. And so what I have inculcated the habit after doing some short films in Australia in my film school. Whenever I'm writing a screenplay, I have a mood material. Like if even Arjun I collect some photographs, random photographs which I think I can see Arjun Reddy in it. I collect few photographs, I collect some music pieces. The writing
Interesting.
job is like self-motivation.
Yeah.
You have to be motivated all the time. It's not easy.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Because if 1 week you write, after that you might lose interest. So to keep yourself motivated on the subject point, I collect some audio and some photographs. So like that, I collected a lot of music for Animal. I started collecting during Kabir only. Matlab, I'm shooting Kabir, but something if I see, I feel like it's going to, for my next film, I immediately take it and put it in, save it in the computer or a phone. So this song, this is a Persian song, I selected it like 4.5 years back. So randomly one day in between the shoot, I visited my folder, my mood material of Animal. I was scrolling up. I found one music piece. I said like, wow, this is what I thought for Bobby Deol's introduction. Then luckily we got the permission and we redid it a little, remastered kind of a thing we did. And we used it, it's working. Because sometimes when you're deeply involved in the story, you know very well whether you want a real sunlight or you want, just afternoon light or a morning light. It's just a
I would like to see an interview with what's his name? Bhushan, right? Bhushan Kumar. T series, like the producer of this film. Or his brother, maybe, whoever is like taking care of all the, like when he says I wanted this song only and they have to get a rights for it, so they have to pay for that. And they're like, Arey, why to give so much money? Use something else. No. Like, is the producer saying that? And if not, why? How does the producer know if the actor asking something I should give him? He's not just asking anything. So that interview would be interesting to see.
feeling.
Yeah.
There's purely no calculus, purely feeling. And that's how it happened. And maybe I listen to a lot of music and specifically I'll tell them this is what I wanted. I think that's why every time, every song, every BGM is standing out because I'm very clear with what sound I wanted. So.
Right. And you're also trying to break the cliche of the.
Yeah. Because, if you remember when the father and son discussion is happening, there's a siren I used when he says, "Oh, हाथ उठा लो पापा मैं चला जाऊंगा jail." Seeing at the 15-year-old's rage, saying that he'll go to jail. There's one siren I used where Anilji will be going back like that. That siren and the movement in the frame is in the sync.
Yeah.
It sounded like what a piece of thing, the music is playing at that point. So even when, even the theme, the visual theme I use with that, I use it like I know what do you call that instrument? Zun, 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 that will come like that visual theme. Papa's theme, I use it like a rage thing now, you know?
Yeah.
So like that, yeah.
Yeah.
I think I'm very specific maybe, that's the reason, yeah.
Right. Why did you want to make Abrar a Muslim?
See, I thought, I'll tell you, because I feel, I've seen people when they hit to a zone of zero confidence, people will come and, say that, go to the church or go to some Baba, he'll give you some tabis, change your name, things will
Hmm.
work for you. Things like that happen. I've seen people changing their religion because so much has happened to them
They
that
get into a
in a
low
way,
point
yeah, at a low point, they feel like it's a new birth, the change of identity completely. So I felt when the other grandfathers kicked out of Swastik, I thought he's done. Somebody must have suggested him. So I thought, like, we see a lot of people converting into Islam and Christianity. We never see anybody converted to Hinduism.
Yeah.
So we we see a lot happening in the surroundings. So I thought, like, I'll use this because in Islam there's multiple times you can get married. So I can have multiple cousins with different faces. The drama will be bigger. That's the only reason.
Yeah.
There's nothing like, okay, you're a Muslim, I can show you, a bad light, or
No,
I
no.
can show it like a villain. Yeah, because few people are writing, like, why you made Muslim as a villain.
No, I was just
There's
curious
nothing
because you
like
have a
that. Yeah.
Sikh protagonist or a Punjabi, and
Yeah.
then I was just curious about the line
Yeah.
because just like
I have seen that criticism.
I'm curious about why they go to church. That
Yeah.
scene with the church, it's like
Because when things like that happen, people suggest, like, that's what I said. Now go to that Baba, go to this church. And even that homam which is happening, it's purely South Indian thing.
yeah,
So I thought, like, when somebody is sick at home, you try to seek blessings or speak spiritual things
Like-
from every possible religion. So it depends on what kind of a family you don't want to see any other religion, then you'll only stick to Hinduism.
right.
So I thought, like, a father is like an open guy. So I thought, like, okay, let's go to church, let's go to there, here, there. So that's the reason I
Okay.
used church.
Like somehow let's cure this guy.
Yeah, like
yeah.
home happened, immediately church happened, everything is happening, and that's why you see Anil ji is looking at him
Yeah.
and saying amen, amen, and all that,
Yeah. No, and also that homum, there's a nice touch because Rashmika's familiar with that
Exactly.
that concept.
That's what,
because
because
that's
there's
why
one
she's saying
line.
hold this, do this, do
Yeah,
that.
there's one line the cousin says, like, ये क्या चल रहा है? मतलब भाभी तेलुगु है ना, so उनके हिसाब से कुछ हो रहा है.
Yeah.
So I thought, like, there's no need of that dialogue.
Yeah.
Also, I chopped it in the edit. I thought, like, it's understood the way she's asking him to do. It's understood.
Yeah. She
Why to
knows,
say it
she's
again?
Actually,
familiar with
good thing.
with that
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
So.
And rest of them
There will be too much over explaining the scene.
are just standing. Even
Yeah.
Anilji is there, but you don't know the ritual,
Yeah.
how it works.
Yeah. Why does he tell Gitanjali, like, if I die, don't remarry?
I see in a relationship, sometimes, most of the times I feel in relationships you are done. The rest will be a habit. Multiple partners could be a habit. Once you are with one person, the share of love with that particular person, you are done for the life. That could be the exchange between Geetanjali and Ranvijay. And knowing the psyche of Geetanjali, there's so many things in a relationship which is unsaid. So you must have felt that you can't make it with anybody else. So you better remain single. So because knowing her mother and
Okay.
parents, they might suggest you, if I don't come back, that okay, now what happened is happened. After 2-3 years, they come and tell you that no, let's get married. And he doesn't want his kids to be seeing Geetanjali with another father. Maybe that's his thought.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with a generalized feeling. It's purely personal.
Yeah.
So I know that because people looked at, especially the pseudo feminists looked at it saying, oh, he can
Okay.
go and sleep with another woman, but he doesn't want her to, marry again. I found it very funny, but because I'll tell you, to an extent, they felt like, why is he introducing Preeti in a white costume? Because he want everything to be fair, but this fellow is, I don't know, that this angle of how they dissect your film is gone from Arjun to kuch nahi tha. From Kabir to now in these 4 years, the meter has gone up somewhere. Like it's too toxic now.
No, it's also, I think these are the very unique things that make the films extreme. Because like you say, the drama comes from the fact that you're pushing the material, right? And I was like, one of the things that I really like about your films is that they kind of really push you, provoke you, shock you, they move you, they do everything. Like usually when you see a love story, for instance, you're like, I want to be moved. But you're giving like all these other like things. You're kind of like this is one big thali of emotions that you're giving, and I'm not prepared for it. Like, because it's like watching somebody without a filter, like that's refreshing, because usually people always like look through a film with or a character with just one gaze, and here you're like you're just like, I'm going to do what feels right at that moment for that character, rather than like try to, you know
Change it to fit the narrative of other people, like what other things that this is how a character should behave, this is how things should happen in movies. I'll not do that. I'll just think what I think is right in the scene, and then other people who don't like it, they try to find flaws. Like, how can you, how dare you?
do this whole thing up in a certain way. And I think that's very refreshing to watch in a film. To have a villain, for instance, for just 20 minutes, I think it's unheard of, because it's like usually what the traditional way of thing is.
I think that's one of the things that even I was impressed by Sandeep, that you know how to explain it, that you study about filmmaking and all of this, and in filmmaking there's no rules. You don't follow rules to do whatever you want, but you don't do actually what you want. You try to copy other people, you try to copy how good films are made and try to make a good film and try to impress people. What they will think, they'll say, oh wow, you made such a good film, you did that so well, and I'm happy, I'm impressed by you. You need validation from the audience, and you get that through box office, that people are enjoying your films. You also see it's the same thing. But when the impress thing comes, that you want to show other people that you're this kind of a guy, and that, and then you are not actually telling a film, you're just doing anything to just make some people happy. That's not great filmmaking. And I think that this is like, he's not worried about what people will say. I don't care what reviewers will say. I want to make this movie. This character will do this because, and he's giving his, justifications of why he chose this moment, that moment. He's giving. For me, I'm like, yeah, okay, I understand what he's doing. I totally understand why he's like. He's not like making up anything and saying anything he wants to say. So that's something.
You introduce the hero, maybe either you introduce the villain or you wait for like something interval point, or maybe midway somewhere, so that people know that okay, there is an antagonist that is going to kind of a thing. But here he kills his brother-in-law. At that point, you introduce the villain's brother. We don't even know who that chap is. When he dies, there's a phone call, and that is when the brother dies. There's a phone call, and then you realize, oh, there's somebody else. And then there is this explanation about the family, and then the villain is revealed, the actual villain. It's like it's a very different way of
Yeah.
writing. That's what I'm talking about.
And thinking that audience are with you
Yeah.
is one very scary ride. If they lose one or two bits, they'll not follow the
But
story.
what is this conviction that you have, Sandeep? It's like you're you're doing everything against like what is usually done.
Yeah.
Like, what is this conviction that you have? How do you get this
Because
conviction?
we are very clearly, I'm very clearly underlining things,
Right.
which it's not easy that you will not notice it.
Right.
You have to notice it. You are making it very thickly underlined everything. That is one thing. Another thing is, I don't know the other way.
Right.
The other way bores me. The thing
Right.
is, if I don't make the flight go up like that, see all that mountain, all that CG things, so many hundred meetings with that, just to give that high of a takeoff in a story. Then what way would be to jump into a screenplay like just putting after 8 years? It's so boring. Because when you see like, oh, where this is going, and suddenly you see a Range Rover, and suddenly this, I'm not giving time to you to think.
Yeah.
So I feel very much I'm holding the attention. So I thought like all this snippets, what you said, phone call, brother, ye, wo, reveal hoga. I thought they are always with me.
Right.
So, but at the same time, sometimes you feel, what if they don't really bother about your storytelling? Then you are dead. I used to get this feeling in Arjun also. Why I have to look at your story? Why is he pissing you in pants? But ठीक है ना, एक लड़की गई तो गई. You move on with your life. What if audience think like that? But the whole idea of making a film is to, I'm going on a ride, just follow me throughout the ride.
Yeah.
That's what a strong screenplay is always.
Right. Right.
That's a challenge, and that's the only way to do it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the Zoya character again, because you don't explain every little bit in your movie, but just give enough hints. There is this with Gitanjali. She's shown in a very like almost like a very chaste, virtuous manner. Like even after the lovemaking or whatever, she's coming in a sari, like a bridal sari kind of a thing, and all these kind of things. Whereas with Zoya, you actually see her like naked, and he's resting on her hips. So that image, how did you like conceive that image that you want to show a
The
180
difference.
degrees difference?
Yes, yes. I want to show the difference, and one more thing is, uh, obviously there's a little nudity in it, but I didn't want it to sound sleaze. I want the audience to see like to what happened. Why is he going to that extent? Like, because the way they come close and cut to, I want that shot actually.
Yeah.
Then when I saw in the edit it's not working, then I use the kissing shot. थोड़ा तो वार्म अप दिखाएंगे नहीं तो ऑडियंस क्या हो रहा है.
Yeah.
So the shot का value खराब हो जाएगा. So I just use that kissing shot, and next when the music goes high I use that tracking shot. Then when I explained to Ranbir and Tripti also, I said like it will look like a painting. It will not look like
It did
sleaze.
look like a painting actually,
Yeah.
because it's almost like a still life.
Yeah.
They're not moving at all.
Yeah, only the cigarette smoke is moving
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that. Yeah, it was a deliberate. It's like they're lost, just to give a feeling that, suddenly what happened? What is this new love story? And from there, within no time, I want to get to a point where she'll open the backstory. So when he says like, I knew from the day one that you are this, then there's a question that he could have threatened her. But knowing the fact, if you threaten, she'll not open.
Yeah.
So I wanted
You have to seduce.
Yeah, I thought like you've gone to that level also. That okay, I'll get this out. So yeah, it is actually layered very deep. It will be nice to see in the part 2 park. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Because,
Really?
yeah. Because when you see, if you have been noticed, when she says now go and kill her, she's always saying you have murdered so many people. Now she's going to go and kill her. She's like, "वो मैं नहीं कर सकता." And I felt even the bootlicking scene also, I didn't want to piss somebody or I didn't do it to irritate somebody. It's like I knew that you're a mole. I knew that you've come here to do something wrong to me. But to kitna bhi, how much ever acting you had, I felt there is one little side of Ranvijay, there's a moment.
Yeah.
You can't see her fully acting. There's a moment of, see, she thought she'll cheat you, but she gave up.
Yeah.
But you know that she came to cheat you, but you are double cheating her.
Yeah.
And at one point, you also, as a man, you understood that she's really giving it. That, that warmth or whatever, So there is a mild connection which he doesn't want to accept in front of the wife. Maybe he also
I actually saw that scene that this how far he can go to save his father. And I think in the live discussion we talked about Ashwin Jechi actually said that maybe he actually is in love with her, that's why he didn't go to kill her. And I was like, no, that breaks his character. But this actually maybe it works. Yeah, maybe it was that he had something deep inside. He had something, and that's why he wanted to do nothing with her.
hates the fact that he got a little connected with Zoya. So that's why when she opened up, why did you say that lick my shoe? Because she said, I really love you and I can't handle your hatred. I saw how much you love your father. हुआ तो हो सके तो मुझे माफ करना. मुझे don't नफरत मत करना. क्यों? Because I love you so much. अच्छा, then lick my shoe. Because why he wants to prove? Because that's a very fine line showing that you also got connected.
Yeah.
That's why you are trying to test her. I don't know how many people understood that.
Right.
But most of them thought, oh God, he's asking her to lick the shoe. Point is not that. Point is, unknowingly you're connected. You enter into a very dark world. Now it's going to screw you up completely. That's what I want to show. But whatever it is, we'll see in the part 2. But this is a nice planting, which I thought it's a very fine way to do it.
Right.
But most of them thought about the bootlicking only. They never thought about the emotion.
It's, for me, it was the equivalent of like, yeah, you love me. Okay, jump out of that window.
Yeah.
Like do something extreme.
Yeah.
Because at that moment he's pissed off that she's saying, oh, I love you still, whatever it is, after doing all this, and he's like, this is an extreme. Because he takes his leg away when she comes. Exactly. So he takes his leg away. So it's like, it's not like he really wanted her, but it's like more like saying, okay, if you really love me, jump out of the window, or some random thing. That's
like a test.
Yeah, it's a test.
Yeah.
Or rather, he's kind of that irritated that moment has come about. Yeah.
That's why he'll tell to his cousin, Sangram bhai, इज्जत से पेश आना.
Yeah.
That's a warning. That warning is coming out of you. See, no matter what, you have a feeling that because of you, I found my destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know where to go and what to do. So that's why I think he'll say, "Oh, maine kar sakta, I can't kill her."
Right.
So she'll ask, "Why you love her?" So that became more complicated there.
Right. So do you see Ranvijay as a misogynistic person?
See, actually, I don't know. Most of the misogyny is disrespect to women, right? The actual definition of is that, right? So, nahi. Even Kabir Singh, even Animal, even me as a person, I always feel like my picture production name is Bhadrakali Pictures, and I don't know why people think that I did. People, matlab, not too many, only these 15, 20 jokers, but it's a wrong word to use on Kabir and Animal. What do you think? I want to ask you.
Right.
You think it's a misogynistic character, Kabir Singh or Arjun or this guy?
No, I'll tell you what I feel, right? See, the thing is, because the characters are so overheated and because the world is so overheated, everything is so extreme,
Yeah.
I wouldn't apply the normal rules of the world to this world, right? See, for example, in this movie, he says, "I slap you." She says, "If you slap me, I'll slap you right back," or something like that.
Yeah.
You know, like kind of a thing. By the way, did that line come about because you wanted to?
No.
It came here. You
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
want to address your.
Because I thought like she's a girl, I'll slap you.
Yeah.
But I'll slap you first.
Yeah. So I'm like, see, because the characters are so extreme, for me, in your films, the rules of the normal world don't apply. Really. And that's what's good about it. Because it's like, see, for example, if you read books like Wuthering Heights and all those gothic novels, right? It's this passion that is so like overpowering and all those kinds of stuff that it's like those people don't really, they'll seem like, to others they will seem like mad people, but only they will know what that passion or whatever
This is going in a very interesting direction. I want to see what happens here.
thing is. So for me, it's like literally like watching through a glass wall people who look like us but behave in this very passionate, intense manner. And for me, what also, like, I know I get into a lot of discussions about this where people disagree with me, but where I see this is your heroes always end up paying for their mistakes. Whether it's Arjun Reddy, he loses the girl.
Did it feel like there was a cut somewhere? I don't know.
And he ends up messing up his career. He's forced to accept his mistake. He goes through a long period of self-reflection, self-realization, things like that. He gets to a bottom of a pit because he loses that girl. It's like, and then he has to lift himself up again and make himself worthy of getting her. It's only after he tells the medical board that, yes, no, I'm not going to take a refuge in a lie. I'm going to admit that I did a mistake because enough is enough. It's only then that after that he meets Preeti. Till then, he's not meeting Preeti like when he's still in that horrible I'm a rock star phase. It's only after he's realized his mistakes that he's meeting Preeti. This is how at least I see it, right? And everybody's probably seeing it differently.
Yeah.
Similarly, here at the end, for all the things that he does, his father is still going to die. His wife goes away.
Yeah.
It's like he loses his hearing.
Yes.
He's like, it's not like they pay for whatever. Like there's a kind of redemptive aspect, right? So for me, not redemptive, that's a wrong word. But what I'm trying to say is that, so I don't see it as I see it as these characters in this particular movie. And I guess it also has to do with how people see movies, because some people see movies as, okay, if you see this movie, then it impacts people outside in society. Uh, I see it as this is a story being told within this frame, and I have
This is very interesting.
to enter that world to understand those characters. That's as simple as that.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I know that a lot of people are going to find a problem with what I just said, but that's the way I process
Yeah.
a film.
But this too much of analyzing and scrutinizing films started off late, right? Past 10 years. Before
I don't know, but I think
I think it started slowly.
But don't you think it's a good thing, because it's like you get to hear different sides.
Get to hearing different sides is different, but completely without knowing the context, out of context, mein सिर्फ few things you see and see. See, I've heard somebody saying like now he's the hero of the film, asking a girl to makes a girl to lick his shoes. That's a wrong because he never made her to lick.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And even when when she, the pregnant woman is threatening her that he's going to shoot. So all that they say it in a very different context, but the context of the film is different.
Yeah.
I'm talking about that. Having a conversation, people having a different point of view is always great.
Yeah.
Because it is affecting. The whole idea of art
Is to
upsets
create
people.
discussion.
Yeah.
But I think it's good because it's like, see, I see it this way. Somebody else sees it some other way. Somebody
Yeah.
else sees it some other way.
What?
And I think like that
That's
way.
fine, but I feel that's totally fine because the main aim of the art will definitely upset people, which my understanding
Yeah.
of it is. But playing a different context is different now because having a different point of view, criticizing, I love people criticize it because okay, you understood this way, but interpreting in a wrong way is my problem.
Yeah.
So that's a
See, if you don't see the movie and you comment about it,
Yeah.
or then that's a problem.
Yeah, yeah.
Definitely, that's a
Yeah.
I think it's okay to not like a movie.
Yeah.
But at least watch it properly
Yeah.
and understand, and then dislike it or whatever.
Yeah.
It is.
Like yesterday we spoke thinking that nobody talks about the craft. Because I've seen people, this growing numbers, only talking about the how he's misbehaving with the women, and your review is over. I mean, like they are taking it too personal.
Maybe because I watch so many violent films, I didn't find Animal particularly violent.
Exactly.
Uh,
What kind of world cinema we see,
Yeah.
the dark films we see, ये तो मतलब ठीक है.
Yeah, it's like because I've seen very, very dark, disturbing,
True.
violent. Like if you see Saw or all those movies, those are like those mess you up for days.
Yes.
This is not a
Old boy.
Old boy. Yeah, this is not for me at least. But then again, for somebody who has not seen those films, this is
Yeah.
a violent film.
Yeah.
I think it's also the exposure and other
No,
things.
they are exposed. I don't know, but only they are very particular when it comes to Indian film. Because I've seen people talking, reviewing great things about Joker and Wolf of the Wall Street. What I feel very funny is I can understand random people talking about it. Even reviewers are talking about it. Okay, I've seen people in the industry who are actors, the directors, attacking other persons. A film. It's very. I mean,
I'd like to know first.
yeah.
You have proved people wrong by making the biggest box office successes, right? But why does this bother you so much?
No, that's what I'm saying. See, I'll tell you. My point is,
Like, why can't you just say, okay, they are not understanding the movie the way I intended it, and
that I can say to a person who saying like I didn't like the film,
right?
but you are misinterpreting the film.
Is there some part of you that says, I want people to kind of really understand where I'm coming from?
No, I'm saying like if you don't understand also, like see this, everybody takes it in a very different way. It's a hugely populated country.
Right.
But I'm saying like you belong to the film industry and not understanding this is like I feel you wantedly doing this.
Right. Because I see that
Okay.
that this is deeply
Okay, this is interesting. So as I talked before, right? Like, if there's that's the extremity of social media, right? Like, that there'll be people who are just praising the film as if it's the best film ever made, right? And if like the extreme of those people who have, like who see the people who didn't like the film and attack them, abusing them. How can you say this is a great movie? What are you? And that's also wrong. But on the other side, there's an extreme where they reading what they're like. They, even if I am, watching this, I'm sure there'll be some comment below. How dare you? You are supporting this. I got DMs after watching, after my animal review where I objectively talked about the film. That how can you support this film? What kind of person you are? So I am getting judged because I'm talking kind of in favor of being totally objective about the film and not getting into oh so problematic, it should be bad. I'm not saying that, so I'm the wrong person also because I am in support of the film. That's what is happening at one side also, and that's kind of wrong. But even like there were some personal comments being made about Sandeep Reddy Vanga. I thought about it on Twitter. Someone said, I worry about the women in his life, and like, why you're making personal comments like that? How much do you know about him? You're just watching a film. He's telling this, he's saying he's a dark character. He's not a great guy. He's telling you that, and he's telling the story. That doesn't mean so he's misbehaving with women in his life. how can you relate to that until you know for certain you have been in his house, you have put CCTV camera, you know he's a misogynist guy, but to label him all these things, and personally attack him, and create these uh, targeted things about him and not the film, then that is also problematic.
bothering you in some way. Does this like affect your writing? For instance,
No,
do you
no,
do you
not at all.
not at all?
You think it affected?
I'm asking you.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when I'm seeing Animal,
Yeah.
I'm seeing a very free mind.
Yeah.
Like I'm not seeing somebody putting boundaries and
Yeah.
like I'm seeing a very free mind
Yeah.
when I see the screenplay of Animal.
Yeah.
So, but that's good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always good, to
Yeah.
have a free mind when you write and
Yeah.
make films.
So it's
Yeah.
not like There is one part of this film that was very interesting among many other parts, which is like when he addresses the workers at the factory.
Yeah.
Which is actually the one place where he's
I wonder he talks about the like last butcher scene and the part 2
letting
part
go
3.
of, or rather, like the fury that has been building up inside him, that's exploding at that point to the workers of his factory.
Yes.
So, what made you say this is the point that this emotion should come out, rather than maybe at home or maybe with his brother-in-law or maybe with whatever else? A, and why did you name the factory Swastik Steels?
Because auspiciously, it's a very auspicious title, Swastik.
Swastika, yeah.
We always do this in our puja also, every
yeah.
time in Ganesh Chaturthi.
Yeah.
That remained in me, and I found it's very nice rhyming also, Swastik steel. And that opening thing, I always wanted to put this factory thing at the furnace.
Right.
Side mein, there's a lot of furnace are there, like huge factory, and there are a lot of crowd than what you see now. But it didn't happen because we saw the furnace, but they didn't allow us to go there and do. It's too much of heat also, actually. To
Okay.
have it from a distance also, they didn't let it happen because you have to get the crowd. It's tough to control crowd at the furnace. Anything can go wrong. So we got a kind of a studio kind of a thing, and we multiplied the crowd and did that. And I felt the moment he came, and I didn't want him to behave, shout, throw things, and what has happened. Instead, I want to keep quiet. I just want him to meet the father.
Right.
Because the once he saw the way that he's walking and the camera is charging onto Anilji, I thought this is a nice, there's a gap which is getting filled after a long time. After that, he comes out, and I deliberately I want his rage to come out through speech.
Right.
Because two things are happening. One, he's motivating them to go back to your job, promising them that I'm going to get my father after 3 months here, and throwing the promise to them. Even the media is covering it in a way. So I thought like 4 5 things are happening in one. It's a nice thing to happen in any screenplay because every time you have to address 4 different things in 4 different scenes, or length बढ़ जाएगा. It's already 3 hours 30 minutes. So that's the main thing.
Yeah.
I kept length also in mind. I thought like whatever rage and everything, the rage is coming out in the factory with the furnace in the side. It's very symbolically shot. I imagined that way, but I didn't get the furnace, but still it worked. The
And it's
uniform.
also, there was a certain thing about the loyalty of the workers.
Yeah. Three generations he's saying about, yeah.
Yeah, so that was coming across really well. That's
The
they've
way they were
really
shouting
built
and hooting and all that, yeah.
they're all like it's
Yes.
almost like a
Yeah.
rally.
Yeah.
That is kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And I think what makes it seem really human
Yeah.
is that from that almost like that big
Shakti
political
Pragati
speech kind of
Vijay.
a thing,
Yeah.
you cut to the thing on TV
Yeah.
and you show Anil Kapoor's face. He's like, again, like, what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
Or what is he saying?
Yeah.
And that makes it very human because
Yeah.
from a very powerful
Yeah.
thing, you're seeing now the other
Yeah.
side. It's like
Yeah.
why can't this guy just
Reaction
be
shot.
Yeah.
like regular? Oh,
And
what?
yeah, there's one line actually, because I didn't want it to shoot like a live. I wanted to shoot like it has already happened. He's watching the TV, and Mr. Uncle comes and he says, "Balbir, dekha tere bete ki dahad." I just wanted to say like, look
Okay.
at him. He is actually the real successor. I want to use that, but I thought like there's no need.
Type.
Anil ji ke face mein wo dikh gaya.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I thought
yeah.
like I'll not get that. So and anyways, it's live also. So I thought like opted out. But I don't know whether you noticed. It's like I felt maybe he's a capable guy. Maybe he's a real successor of the Swastik Steel or whatever empire he has. He has the leadership qualities.
Right. More importantly, that's a very alpha male scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Motivating and all that. And for him to see like he's in US from past 8 years, he just landed yesterday morning, and next day he's in the factory. He's like, it's not easy to talk like that.
Yeah.
That he is surprised also, and at the same time he's feared also. He's getting scared.
Yeah.
कि अब क्या करेगा ये? And cut to there's a dialogue actually. कहाँ है वो? I removed that also. There's no need कहाँ है. I want straight show into the fields. He's going to Punjab. So yeah.
At the end, you said Animal Park.
Yeah.
What was that name? That name, how did it come about?
I thought like everybody there's a bunch of animals now. It's not only one or two.
Yeah.
So it's a warfare
Finally.
now.
Right.
So it's a kind of Mahabharata now between brothers and cousins and all that.
Right. Right. Did that scene at the airport again? The fight between the cousins,
Yeah.
that is Abrar and Ranvijay. It looks like one of those National Geographic documentaries where some two animals are fighting for like hours together. Like they're just going on and on and on and
Yeah.
on, and like there's no kind of
Yeah.
until one of them kills the other, they're just going to keep fighting kind
Yes,
of a
yes,
thing.
yes.
Is that again something that you had in mind? Is
Yeah,
that...
because in the usual fight, even when you narrate it to the stand master also, they'll say, "Sir, this is open ground. There's nothing to throw on each other," because they always want some properties to throw on each
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
So it's there's nothing other than the fist fight. You have to punch it till somebody dies, and both are deliberately saying we don't want weapons. It's quite a bit of challenge also for the choreographer to create that.
Right.
So
right.
that's why we're constantly getting ideas of smoking and opening the zip and all that, having conversation in between. So in our Mahabharata and Puranas they say that how much ever your opponent is cruel, you have to give him one last chance.
Yeah.
So I thought like maybe he'll ask him because grandfather said leave him. So he thought like maybe he'll just take a word from him, because I always feel like my characters always in the film always respect the enemy also, opponent also. They give equal respect, because even in Arjun, this is what again I noticed. Even in Arjun, he'll ask him, "Promise me that you're not going to come back to my girl again." Then he'll say like, "Okay, I promise you."
This is that holy scene, right?
That holy scene.
Yeah.
So I thought, I don't know, this is also, I noticed after the release actually. I'm comparing what it's so. He'll say like, promise me that you'll not come back again. Because I didn't spend one day, proper day. And grandfather said that we are brothers now. Maybe he also touched, he felt like, finally, your brothers are coming towards you. And his grandfather clearly says, जैसे ये तेरे भाई है, वो भी तेरे भाई है, माफ कर दे उसे.
Yeah.
That's a fact actually.
Yeah. Is Animal Park going to be your next film?
So next is Spirit.
Spirit. Oh,
Yeah,
right.
with,
That's
Baradwaj.
and but you're going to kind of keep working on this as well, like Animal Park.
No, I'll after that I'll work, because I don't believe in writer's room and all that. Multiple writer. I write my own stuff. I never worked with co-writers. I don't know how that will work. I'll try one day, but
But in this film, there are two writers credited along with you, right?
the screenplay. It's a
The
screenplay.
screenplay.
Yeah.
The story you
Yeah,
created.
yeah.
Okay, all right.
Screenplay, because I always discuss with my brother. Yeah, so
Is there any point where any of the actors, Ranbir or Rashmika, or any of the actors said, "Why is this happening?" or "What is happening here?" or kind of a thing? Because when we watch the finished product, everything is kind of clear. But when you're in it and when you're making it, there may be things that are not, because your shoot is always out of sync. You're not shooting in
order.
in order or whatever it
Yep.
is. Is there any point that
no, actually, good that you brought this up, because yesterday night only we were discussing with my ADs and my brother. There's not even one single moment in the film, in the narration, especially with Ranbir, that he questioned the thought of the film. That Sandeep, what do you think this is coming now? I don't think so. This is right. He always tried to gauge and understand where this energy is coming from or why this scene is coming. He's always, I think there's a director inside him also. So because he never
He's also like, I think he has studied filmmaking abroad. Yeah.
asked me saying that I don't think so this is going to work like
Right.
that. He always believed in everything, because I used to ask him, Ranbir, everything I narrate you are liking, is everything okay? Matlab, I was getting doubt on myself. Why is he liking everything? Why is he not saying anything? Ki I have problem in this, problem in that. He used to say like, Sandeep, everything you narrate is superb. It is It is so new, so real. I never heard of. So it's like, while making only you feel that confidence. Like, actor who is so senior, he 16 films old, is finding everything new. That means kuch to hai story mein, you know.
Is Spirit going to be another wild, free film?
I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, but I'll be free while writing. I don't think about how it has been criticized. I think that should not come because
Yeah, yeah.
it will
Yeah.
you will
So,
completely deviate from your originality. So
right. Now, this also means that you can only choose certain actors with certain image for your movie. Is that because maybe not everybody will fit into this world, right? Because some of them might have very like because one thing that I read was you're trying to make a love story with Nani.
no, I just no. I wanted to narrate him long back in 2010.
But I
So
can't imagine you making a Nani type of love story because that's a very different zone.
yeah.
Yeah. But is that something that you had in mind?
No, this is long time back before my debut. I wanted to narrate a story. By then, Nani was not the same Nani today.
Right.
He was also just starting new.
Right.
So that's a different story.
That's a different story.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it true that for the kind of the zone that you're interested in, the place or the characters that you're interested in, you'll only be able to work with certain actors with a certain kind of image?
No, nothing like that. Because but if you see Animal, it
Ranbir's
is
image was
you can't,
different. Not
you'll not
yeah.
think
It's totally opposite. People don't expect it from him.
Ranbir will fit into this.
Right.
Because
Actually, that's true because yeah.
because
he's-
when he said yes, and when I started getting into the treatment of the scenes, elaborating the scenes, it became customized for him because I know he's going to play now. Because usually what happens is you write, then you pitch.
right.
This happened in a way that you pitched the idea, he liked it, and you started getting into the scenes. और tailor made बन गया है मतलब
Yeah.
उसका
Can you give me an example of how you tailored a scene for Ranbir?
For example, the factory scene, the walk, the simple promise of putting hand like that and turning and saying it. He had his own style of doing it, and obviously I added few things, and he was very much ready to adapt into whatever new thing which is coming. Even the way he's smoking, the way he's putting his hand like that, everything, he took it very organically. Like it was never like I'm pasting it on him. And he did it very effortlessly, which is
Right.
very,
No, but I'm asking, like, is there a scene that you wrote specifically saying, I know Ranbir is going to do the scene, so I'm going to write it this way?
For example, the way he comes and converses, because it is Ranbir,
To Gitanjali.
you're feeling it more like that. Even the action part, even the wackiness in the character, because of Ranbir's personal vulnerability, helped a lot for this character.
Right.
Okay.
Because it's very unusual. For example, if this is a story, imagine I didn't meet Ranbir for the line. I wrote the story, and if I had pitched it to you, you would always imagined a mass hero in this.
Yeah.
You would never imagined actor from Sanju or Jawani Diwani will fit into this. Because I always noticed in Rockstar and in few scenes where I used to see a great rage in his eyes.
Right.
I always used to find this is action hero eyes. If he is doing some rom-com, you are not feeling it, but when you place him, he'll be great. This is my personal feeling. Whenever I saw his films, there were a few bits and pieces that they're coming out, popping out, like, hey, pakada gaya, the action hero. It was like that for me. So it worked. I mean,
Yeah. All the best for Spirit.
thank you so much.
Congratulations on the big success of Animal.
Thank you.
And I think it's kind of done better than what you expected, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Are you the kind of writer who also, because you said that certain things that you do for shock, like for example, cutting from the plane to the car kind of a thing, you do keep the audience in mind while you're writing.
Yes.
That's something that you
Yes.
that you do that. So
And I always, even in the scenes when I reread it and when I sleep over it, I always feel that, like we said it in the yesterday interview, like I always feel like my feeling is
What is this yesterday's interview? What happened yesterday?
directly proportional to the gallery. I always feel till now 3 films it worked. Let's see for the further films, but I always feel मुझे पसंद आ रहा है तो शायद audience को भी अच्छा लगेगा.
nice.
Yeah.
So cool. All the best for Spirit, and thank you so
Thank you
much
so
for this
much.
session.
Thank you so much. I had fun. Great fun. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, this was tiring. Oh, but it was fun to listen to the understand his thought process of making the film, and most of the things got answered. But yeah, some didn't about the police thing. There's no police in the film. Considering how much detailing he puts, like it's a fictional fantasy film kind of. Don't put too much logic, but and the story is so like going fast that you don't get time to think about this. But then later you think and like yeah, there was no police. So I want to know what his answer is. Maybe his answer is, yeah, man, it's just a film. Don't think too much. Or is he like he has some point to make in that also? But very well interview conducted also of Mr. Bhardwaj Rangan. Very well done, very well handled. It's easy. Any other. I'm sure there are more interviews coming, so I'm sure some people will try to talk more about the controversial part and try to get at something out of him, and even here he himself said some things, but they will try to make headlines out of that, and I'm sure social media will be filled up with now see what he's saying, now what he said again, that fight will all everything start again. If you haven't checked this out, the video I made about animal, about the everything happening post the release, the reception. So definitely check it out. And yeah, this was interesting to watch. Hope you liked it. It was you were showing part one, part two, but it was long for me. Tired. That's it. Thank you, and I'll see you next time.